Good afternoon po sa inyong lahat. My name is Edric.
I'm Joy.
And we are passionate family advocates. Professionally, I'm involved in the personal finance space as a former anchor of ANC's On the Money. I'm also an entrepreneur that is involved in education po. So we have various education services, including services surrounding homeschooling. And we have done some work with the Department of Education, with USEC, Tony Umali, in helping parents adapt to the new normal. And many teachers po, we've been able to engage you in talking about how educators all over can help their children learn from the context of home. Ayan. Ngayon po, ibang magiging usapan natin. We will talk about children and saving. Honey, are you excited?
I'm excited. Yes, of course.
Because
and I'm just so thankful to all the teachers out there because we really, really super appreciate you guys, especially during these last 2 years. We know it hasn't been easy. So salamat po talaga.
Let's get started, baby, with talking about this advocacy of ours and really how it's been real to us. Children, helping them learn the value of savings. We want to be able to share 3 quick things. The first is in the area of helping our children save and handle money better. Ang nakita po namin is, ang napaka-importante po is bakit pagka gusto natin turuan ng mga anak natin, no? If we want to help teach them the value of saving and why it's important and encourage them to do that, we need to help them understand why. For our family and for the families we've been able to engage and interact with, we like to help remind our children na ang pera hindi po sa atin to. We don't own our money. We are just to be stewards. So the very first thing we want to share and encourage all of us with is if we want to teach our children the value of saving money, we need to teach them stewardship, the value of that. What does that mean? How do we do that for our children? Sa aming bahay po, one of the things we've tried to do is to help instill the value of stewardship is we tell our children that they don't own anything. For example, when it is Christmas time, or mga birthday, and they receive any gifts, we do not tell them that it is yours. These things that they open are not yours. They're actually just to be a good steward of that thing that they receive. And as we help teach them that, what does that help them do? They realize na because it's not yours and you're just a steward, they're supposed to share. They're supposed to take care of that thing that they receive, right? Because it's not theirs. Tagapaalaga po sila, no? You're the steward or custodian of that thing that you receive.
So even with young kids, napansin namin, even when our kids are super young, they already have entitlement issues. Like, ang mga anak namin
like
kasi,
one of our kids who will be unnamed.
Yeah, but they are ages 19 all the way down to 3, just turned 3 years old. Yung 3-year-old namin, although super cute niya, of course, minsan, ayaw niya talaga mag-share. And so we've really been working on this with her because if she has something like chocolate or a toy or ice cream, it's very hard for her to share. And
because she just wants it for herself. Like all of us, diba? Tayo din, it's hard for us to share.
And it's our job talaga as parents, who's going to train our kids, right? That we instill in our young kids that desire to think about others and not just think of themselves. So I hope you'll appreciate this video that you're going to watch where you will see our little daughter in training.
You have to share. Katie, look at me. You share, okay? Okay?
Change your attitude first.
But you change your attitude. You cannot be like that.
Yeah. Or share. You want to hold it? Will you share it with us? Which is a powerful lesson for all of us, right? How emotion before emotion, we do and we choose to do the right thing, even if our feelings aren't there. So that facial expression captured it all.
So why
I choose to learn to share, even if I don't feel like it, because that's where the lesson and the growth will happen.
And why is this important? Because when we're talking about money in the lives of our children
and savings,
there are character traits that we need to instill very early on, even before we talk about money. That's why it starts even when they're very young. It's their perspective on themselves, on others, how they're going to relate to people. What are they going to do with things that are given to them, and how are they going to share it? How can they also give, right? So even something simple like ice cream for a toddler.
The second thing, honey, you want to talk about the second
Yeah,
thing?
so the second thing, yung pangalawa, would be teaching them the value of work. And we don't pay our kids for doing chores kasi dapat lang sa bahay nagko-contribute, they have to contribute, they have to also do their part to take care of the home. And that's part of training them also to not just expect that everything will be done for them. And so when it comes to chores, for example, cleaning sa kitchen or cleaning their rooms or taking care of their pets, dapat lang they do these things. That should be part of their education as well. And so we don't pay them for that, pero we give them incentives, we give them jobs. And the thing is with our family, of course, there are certain things that, yes, we can afford to get for our kids. But what Edric was saying, na ang daming bata ngayon na feeling nila, if I want something, makukuha ko agad. My parents have to get it for me. But we don't want to raise our kids this way because we want them to understand that there's value to working and working for something that you want. And also, if you do really want something, learn to really put in the effort to acquire it. Don't just expect that your parents will always pay for everything. So ang nangyari is when we went to the stores and we would go around and they'd be like, oh, wow, this is so nice. Mom, can I get this? I would ask them, well, do you have enough money to buy that? And then they would think, well, maybe I don't really need it. So in other words, their perspective would change. They would realize, wait a second, if I just ask mom to get everything, it's easy because I don't feel the pain of having to pay for something. Pero if I have to pay for it on my own, then it makes me think, oh, do I really need this? And the other thing that we wanted them to learn was also, of course, the rewards of saving. So
that's the third final thing.
That's the third one. So for our sons, they were given a certain amount by their lolo and lola before we left for the US. And it was a good amount of money. But my dad did something very important. Sinabi niya sa mga anak ko, he said to them, look, kids, if you want to spend this money for Christmas shopping, that's up to you. But if you save it, whatever you save, I will match when you get back. So we just got back and my kids, they told me, you know what? We didn't spend the money that Angkong or Lolo and Lola gave us. So we're going to tell them. And sure enough, they told him today, and he said, good job. I'm going to keep my word. I won't give you in dollars. I will give you the equivalent in pesos because we're here now. And so they're so excited because they have certain projects that they want to do. And now they have extra money to use it, or they can still save it. But at least they're learning the value of what it means to save.
And they get the experience of the rewards.
Yes,
right?
They get the reward of saving.
Yeah. So I think it's important as we close, no? Ito pong tatlong bagay. We talked about the value of stewardship. Joy talked about the value of work. No, not so much hard work, well, that's important. It's the value of work. In the real world where if we give them just allowances and they learn to save from allowance, they will think, okay, ganun ba sa buhay, no? I will just get an allowance in my life and that's how I'll be able to save money. So we want them to see the value of work. And finally, as Joy shared, the rewards of saving. When they're able to see the benefits of doing it, even in a short period, makita nila, alam mo, sulit na sulit ito. Yeah, you want to add something?
Yeah, I forgot to mention to say the importance of also exposing our children to business opportunities. Even while they're young, because pag matanda na sila, my family na sila, they want to start doing business, yung risk mas mataas. If your business doesn't do well, then you may have to leave your home. You won't be able to provide for your family. But when our kids are at home with us, if they make mistakes in business now, okay lang, meron pa silang kama, they still have food on the table because of us as parents. So it's great for them to experiment.
But they should, right? They should.
Yeah. It's good for them to experiment with business ideas even while they're young. And so what my husband does sometimes, he tells the boys, look, if you have a business idea, you tell me, you present it to me, and if you need funding, I'll help you with it. So me naman, with my girls, we started making earrings together during the pandemic so that their energies can also be channeled in a positive way. And they were able to make quite a lot of money from this business by helping me. And they learned everything from coordinating with the Grab or the or the Lala Move or whoever to pick up the items and send it to their clients. And then they learn how to coordinate with the clients and to apologize if they make mistakes and how to also fix it if they made a mistake. And then they also made some very big mistakes that were costly, but I showed them grace because I realized as a mom, when I saw that they're working very hard, even though they made some mistakes, I wanted them to realize, okay, so while you're still at home, you're learning business principles and I'm going to give you grace. But I'm telling you, if this happens in real life, it's not going to be the same. So, but it was a great experience for them.
Right. And so ano pa yung naging resulta? No? I think part of the encouragement we have is imagine a world where the next generation, ito mga kabataan, whether the people you're teaching or our own children, no, where they're able to embrace these principles, to be able to save for the future, the value of stewardship, the value of work, and the rewards of being able to save and tasting that. Imagine what will happen to this next generation of Filipinos na hindi na po entitled, selfish, self-focused, right? They're able to see these things. They're able to see it grow. Sa mga anak po namin, at least the eldest boys who are older, as they've been able to do this, I'm blessed to see as a father now, as they've chosen to save, mas naging kuripot po sila kaysa sa akin at sa aking misis. So much so that they have investments, they have savings that are now in the six figures. And I'm really excited to see how they will continue to steward that and find ways to see that grow. But let me wrap up with this. Even as we think about a world where the next generation, our children, are transformed because they see the value of this and they're able to save for future goals and the benefits of that, it starts with you and me. It's so important. Kung gusto po natin matutunan ng mga kabataan ito, whether it again be the children that you amazing teachers are teaching or your own children or our own children, we need to model these things to them. Do we show them in our life the value of stewardship, how it's not our money either? These are not our things. We're just stewards of whatever we have. Do we show them the value of work in the way we work, in the things that we do? And do we also share the joy when we're able to see the rewards of our savings efforts para po sila, kita nila sa buhay natin? And last thing in this area is if we mess up, kung sablay po tayo, we need to be honest and humble enough to say this to our children so that they see we are wanting to change. We're not perfect, but we are progressing. We're working in that direction. So that is my final encouragement, our final encouragement for all of you. Salamat po ulit sa pagkakataong ito. I hope this has been helpful. God bless your efforts at trying to encourage a saving generation. And we want to thank again Salve and the team and all the different partners involved in putting this amazing advocacy together. God bless you po. See you around.